Hello, I am Miriam, co-founder and COO of Keto Chow.
I'm Chris, also co-founder, president, and the technical guy, and I got the video thing to work right this time.
Yes!
Anyway, if you're brand new to Keto Chow, it's a nutritionally complete meal designed to make doing keto easy. We also have some electrolyte supplements that are amazing for everyday use and for keeping the dreaded keto flu away.
Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the little bell icon for daily updates on all our Keto Chow happenings. These live streams help us be accountable and stay on track. Thanks so much for joining us on our keto journey.
There you go. So let's see, we got quite a few people who are here ahead of time. Keto Life Grandy, which I might have been first. Wait, Becca's here, so is DH and Debbie.
DH, hi.
Marissa's working, so we'll be mainly listening in tonight.
Oh, man.
Let's see, Randy is here. Dr. Maitreya is in the house.
Hello, doctor.
We are getting red.
Whoopsie.
We might be getting, hold on a second. I just noticed that we're getting
Drop frames.
some drop frames. Hold on a second.
Drop frames. It's green again. Hello, hello, in case it's green again.
Okay, well, there you go, green again.
Do I have lipstick on my teeth?
I hope so. Anyway, Dr. Maitreya is here. Yep. Randy says, had the red licorice keto chow's ice cream tonight. It's pretty good.
Nice.
Jerry says, good evening, chowlings.
Good evening.
Let's see, just people talking back and forth. Becca says, everyone tomorrow is supposed to hit a high again of 50. And then a major snowstorm on Thursday.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
Heather's here, says hello, everyone.
Hello, Heather.
Jerry says, for dinner tonight, delicious lemon blueberry keto chow ice cream.
Nice.
Let's see, Becca says, I'm still on my tablet, so I have to peck out the words letter by letter.
Oh, I know, that's a pain.
That's
Sorry.
terrible.
I like to not be on my phone.
Also,
when I'm
tagging
watching
people is terrible on a tablet. Let's see. Lots of people saying hi. Swang is here. So is Glinda.
Hi,
And we're almost there. Okay, so Glenda says, I'm watching Olympics on my tablet and this stream on my phone.
Yay.
And yes, Linda is here. Claudia says, hi, everyone. Suzanne is here. Okay, and Joanne says, have a great evening, everyone.
Well, thank you. You too.
Rennie says, today at Costco, I got a whole ribeye for $10.99 a pound.
Oh, nice.
Ellen here says, refers to my first order of keto chow today.
Yes.
3 shakes in the fridge, waiting for tomorrow.
Did you decide what you're going to start first? What are you going to try?
I don't know. Try the thing you think you aren't going to like the most. Stephanie says, I got my InfoStack Keto Chow yesterday.
Nice. It's
Alan's
the
here
last
from
day
Texas.
to get InfoStack if anybody still wants it. We have a couple more hours.
Blaine says, greetings, Keto Warriors. Hope everyone is well. Blaine, I got your message. I haven't had a chance to reply to it yet. I hope you're doing well also.
Yes. I'm going to sit Indian style, okay?
Claudia says, definitely need to keep red licorice in stock. Speaking of which, let's pull up the website. And if you go to shop, you go to Keto Chow. I'm going to hold down control so I can open up both of these in new windows.
Okay. Oh, I realized I just said something offensive. I meant crisscross applesauce.
Oh, yeah. Well, I still call them thongs instead of flip-flops.
No,
so.
you don't. You're not that old.
I do.
That's our parents'
Anyway,
version.
so red licorice, it looks like there's about a fourth of it gone.
Okay.
And black licorice, yeah, still about a fifth.
So we're okay for a minute.
Now, that said,
Uh-huh.
if you come over here and you go to the eggnog, where is it?
Eggnog.
A, B,
Where
C.
are you?
I think I passed it.
D, E,
Eggnog.
F, G.
So there's eggnog,
Seasonal.
and here's pumpkin spice.
Pumpkin spice. Oh. Well, that's almost gone.
It is almost gone. The big bags of eggnog are almost gone.
Wow, wow, wow.
And for pumpkin spice, the big bags of pumpkin spice are almost gone as well.
It's the final countdown.
Final countdown. I was trying to figure out what song that was.
It's the final countdown. Anyway, so those are getting low.
Okay, pumpkin and eggnog. And they won't be back until
Sometime in the fall.
That's
right, in the big bags. So,
yes.
Lori says, good evening, you two lovely people.
Hello, Lori.
Dennis says, evening greetings.
Hello, Dennis.
I don't know why I want to tell you, Dennis, but we had salmon tonight.
Yeah, did you
It
want
was
to know that?
delicious.
It was delicious.
You used the Redmond
I used the Redmond
lemon pepper?
lemon pepper on it,
That's
and
good
usually I
stuff.
don't like lemon pepper, but for some reason I like this stuff. It was good.
Mary says, Chris keeps calling you doctor. She has a doctorate in English, right?
I don't remember. But she said it was okay if we called her doctor. I figure she said it was okay, then it's okay.
Pamela says, good evening, everyone.
We're not making fun. She's a
Andrea
doctor.
says, chocolate creamy for tomorrow.
A doctorate. Or whatever.
Let's see. Shauna is here, says hi, is Chris and Miriam.
Hi, Shauna.
JJ says, I'm absolutely loving these shakes. I've been drinking 2 a day. I mix strawberry and banana.
Yes.
I swear it tastes like Fruit Loops.
Oh, that's so awesome.
And yes, Becca, we were getting dropped frames. MK says, when people use Keto Chow in coffee, how do they do that? Dry out of the pouch or mix as a shake? So that is a very good question. Now,
that is a good question.
Miriam and I don't drink coffee. So we're not really experts on this, but we can tell you what some other people do, and I'm sure that people in our live stream are going to comment about it.
Yep.
But I can tell you what some people have reported that they do. So some people will mix up Keto Chow regularly using like heavy cream or butter, and after they've mixed it up and it's been sitting in the fridge, they have their coffee and they pour it in there like a creamer.
Yep. Some people take the powder and then mix it into their coffee like a tablespoon, so it's like a little bit of a taste. Some people also take and mix the Keto Chow with coffee as the water component.
Yes.
So they'll put the water or the butter or the heavy cream in and use coffee, either cold coffee or hot coffee, and mix the Keto Chow that way. Then it's that has a lot of coffee in it, but it's just this really yummy mixed sweetened coffee.
Yep. So the answer, how do you use coffee with Keto Chow? Yes.
A lot of different ways. Those are some ways that we know of.
Yep. So, and a lot of people are like, well, how much, like if you're putting the dry into it, how much do you use? How much do you want?
Yep.
Some people use an entire serving. Some people use a teaspoon. Some people use a tablespoon. It's entirely up to you.
Yep, play with it and figure out the way you like it.
If you've seen Runaway Bride, and they ask her how she likes her eggs, it's, how do you like your eggs? How do you like your Keto Chow? You have to figure out what you like. So.
Yep.
Anyway.
But let us know, because we love to hear how you try.
That's true. Callie says, watching on my TV and I'm on my phone. Oh, Special Victims Unit. I had black licorice ice cream for dinner, and it was awesome.
Nice, awesome.
Let's see. Rick Went is here. Sean says, making Keto Chow hot cereal. Always a soft meal day when you put in the new alignment trays.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta get your alignment straight, right?
I know, I keep thinking about doing that, but then I'm like, I don't want to.
Yeah, our daughter Ruth, we had to get her alignment fixed on her eyes.
Yeah, that was true. Speaking of eyes, we talked about that today. She had eye muscle surgery, which is super gross. Like, open up the eyes and cut the muscles, and then they go, and then put them back on again.
Yep.
So gross.
JJ says, I tried caramel macchiato for the first time yesterday, and it was amazing. Oh, that's what at first. Nice.
I'm so glad you like it.
Let's see. Blaine says, black licorice, big bags, please.
You like it that much? Wow, wow, wow.
Let's see. Karen says, hi, everyone. InfoStack arrived. 5 different flavors Keto Chow in the fridge. Agree with Claudia. Keep red licorice, please.
Nice. Thank you.
Jerry likes the final countdown thing. Suzanne says, I need to buy more pistachio. I only have one.
We don't have any pistachio here either.
Do we not? I thought we had some.
No.
You sure?
You brought a bag home and we ate it.
I think we have. Okay, so in our cupboard, we have these Better Home and Gardens. We have the 18.5 cup.
Yeah, so it can fit a bag and a half.
Yeah, so you get halfway done, you can add another bag. But take the scoop out.
I
Otherwise
hardly
you
ever
bury
do, and then it's just like a lot of scoops. Like, how many scoops are in this
we have about
chocolate peanut butter?
Okay,
like
last
10.
time I looked, we had a third of one of those containers left.
Well, I'm happy to hear that.
Okay. Anyway.
Scoot over by me.
Lisa says, I thought it was an ad. No. So that comes from when we introduced the lemon meringue. It got really close to selling out. We were doing a live stream, and I created a button that would play it. Here we go.
It's the final countdown.
Because we were getting so low.
And then everybody bought it when we were on the live.
Yeah, we literally sold
so
out during the live. It was really
fun. So if
funny.
you want to buy eggnog and pumpkin, then we'll sell out again.
It
for our
probably
final countdown.
Sandra says, hello from Indiana. My husband is on blood thinners.
Oh,
Did you say K2 or K1? We have K1. I mean, sorry,
We have
I was just
K2.
reading. We have, well, K2 specifically,
Yes.
it is MK7, if you want to get really specific. That's the version of K2 that we have.
But you know what would be a good idea is just take a bag of Keto Chow to the doctor and say, hey,
Yes.
do any of these vitamins or anything interfere with his medicine? Because you definitely want to be careful.
And we specifically, let me pull up the page right here. Boom.
It's down at the bottom, I think.
So here you've got the ingredients, okay?
That's hard to read.
Well, you can
Make it bigger.
embiggen.
Big, big, big.
Okay, so where is it? B2, B2, there it is.
Menoquino.
Okay,
Menoquinem.
why do we have all these weird
Menoquinem.
chemical names?
Cholesterol,
glutamate.
niacinamide. I could say glutamate.
Yeah, 5-methyltetrahydrofolate.
I could say that
You can
too.
say that one? Okay, so why do we have all these weird... Am I sharing? No,
Maybe.
now I'm sharing.
Now
Piece of
you
crap.
know what we've been
Okay,
looking at.
Now you know what we've been looking at. Okay, so why do we have all of these weird chemical names on our label?
Because vitamins in real life have real names and they're real weird. So we put them on here. And then he put in the brackets B2, B1,
B12,
K2,
yeah.
B12, B6, because a lot of us recognize those things. And there's a reason why they named them those small names is because we can't say menoquinium.
Well, and even more than that, okay, so folate, folic acid. This form of folic acid, or folate, is very different
It's very specific.
from the other ones. And vitamin A palmitate and the D3 and all of these are the very specific forms. And when you really get down to it, the form of the vitamin makes a lot of difference. And so it's important that you're getting the one that you need. So that's why we have them on there. I'm not sure if it's still on the nutrition page. It used to, wait for it. It used to have a thing that says, does that sound like a bunch of crazy? Yeah.
Oh,
Think
that
that's
does.
a lot of chemicals with crazy sounding
Yeah.
names? Check this out. The ingredients of an all-natural egg.
Oh, that's a lot of names.
Hexadeconic acid, aspartic acid, valine, arginine.
But those are all occurring naturally in an egg. We just know it as an egg. So
Apparently it's 0.8% of an egg is sugars.
Oh, 0.8.
Ooh. Anyway,
We did not know that.
so yeah, there are a lot of chemicals in Keto Chow and everything else.
In the world.
Yep, but we believe in being very, very clear and honest in what is in stuff.
Yep.
So that's why we tell you exactly what is in the stuff.
So please, if you ever have a question, take the bag in to your doctor and say,
Yes.
this is the vitamins that I am eating in this Keto Chow. I'm eating it
Uh-huh.
one a day or whatever. And then they can tell you if they feel like it's safe.
Yep. Okay, anyway. Genesis, I'm trying Keto Chow for the first time tomorrow at noon. Do I need to make it overnight?
You don't need to make it overnight, but you can.
Yes.
We like to make it overnight because the flavor and everything gets really good and it kind of thickens up overnight. And I prefer the taste of it being overnight. So you can try it both ways. You could try making it tonight, eating it tomorrow, and then next time you go to drink it, make it again. And
Yeah,
then
and-
just have it.
On the packaging, it says that we recommend you let it sit for at least 30 minutes so that all the vitamins and stuff can dissolve.
Yeah.
It's merely a taste thing.
Yep.
This morning, just before I left for work, I made a red licorice and a black licorice.
Yep.
Mixed them up, brought them to work, ate the first one at like 1 o'clock and the second one at like 3 o'clock. And that was more than enough time for it to taste fantastic. Mm-hmm. If I would have let it sit 2 or 3 days, it would have even tasted more fantasticer.
That's a word.
But it doesn't provide any difference in nutrition. It just tastes better.
Yep, we like it.
And a lot of people tell us that stuff that tastes good is important.
That's true. Speaking of stuff that tastes good,
Okay.
today, right after our morning live stream, Holly made me a Butterfinger Keto Chow.
How do you make Butterfinger
with
Keto Chow?
butter. It was half peanut butter, chocolate peanut butter, half
Chocolate toffee.
chocolate toffee, and it was delicious. And I
Okay.
drank it right away, and it was fine. And I would have liked it better overnight, but sometimes you don't have overnight.
That's true. And she used warm water to
Yep.
mix it up, which kind of negates the need to let it sit
Except
for a
that
long time.
She didn't know that I wanted it hot because I didn't tell her, because she's
Oh.
not my mom. She doesn't have to make stuff for me. She was just being very nice. And so she threw some ice cubes in there.
Oh, okay.
And so it was cold.
Did you heat
But
it up
she made
anyway?
it with, well, I had a meeting, so I sat through the
Oh,
meeting
okay.
and drank it. And I was just very appreciative because I didn't have any food.
Okay. But there you go. So, yeah, do you need to make it and let it sit overnight? No. Will it taste better? Probably. Unless you make it hot and drink it hot right away.
Which drinking it hot is
Because you're making hot
yummy.
chocolate and it's amazing. Okay. Anyway. All right. So Maitreya says, oh, yeah, English literature. Claudia uses 1 tablespoon of Keto Chow in her coffee. Alan says, you can call me Doc, though I'm retired. Shauna says, I make a hot coffee Keto Chow every morning, plus heavy whipping cream, Keto Chow, gelatin, coffee replaces the water. There you go.
Okay, there you go.
Blaine says, as a general rule, I use coffee as the liquid in my Keto Chow.
Perfect.
Megan says, I make mine with 2 tablespoons of butter and a heaping tablespoon of Keto Chow flavor in my fresh brewed coffee. It's delicious.
Nice. Thank you for sharing, guys.
Stephanie points out the 2 Crazy Ketos, actually they had a recent video where Joe showed the process that he uses for
nice.
making Keto Chow. If I remember correctly, he has a blender with coffee going in it and just the lid's open, and he puts in an egg,
Okay.
and then he adds the Keto Chow into it.
Is this warm coffee?
Yes, warm coffee. And it's open. It's an open blender, and so it's just sitting there.
But it's not on high.
It's not on high. Because if you turn a blender on high and you don't have the lid on, you're going to paint the walls.
Anyway, I'm sorry. I didn't mean
Yeah,
to
and
interrupt.
then he just does it that way. So he likes it with the egg and with the Keto Chow, particularly the chocolate peanut butter Keto Chow.
Yes.
So,
Cool. Well, maybe we could link this, his video, to the end of this when we get to it.
Keto Life Granny says, I make my coffee, put it in the blender, and drop it in an egg, a tablespoon of collagen, and then the Keto Chow all in while the blender is running. There you go.
Perfect.
Brenda says, it's a song that will be in my head the rest of the night. Rickwin says, I throw some cocoa powder into my Keto Chow raspberry cheesecake
Oh,
tonight.
nice.
Yum, reminds me of
That does
raspberry
sound
truffles.
yummy.
Let's see, Blaine says, the coffee you like, the way you like to drink it. There you go. Ooh, our door's bell is
Somebody's at
ringing.
the door.
Sandra says, I gave my doctor some Keto Chow. Hopefully he likes it. I hope so too. Andrea says, hey y'all, apple pie creamy for dinner tonight. Randy says, Chris, I think the final countdown might need some more cowbell. Why did I not have a button for more cowbell?
I'm going to get the door.
Okay.
Bye.
You are
Mic'd?
mic'd. You'll have to push the button and turn yourself off. Lisa says, hey y'all, just weighed in and lost 10 more pounds. Let's see. Ellen says, that's their names. Oh, she successfully turned it off. Nice. Anyway, Danita's here. Hi, Danita. Let's see. Christine says, what is InfoStack? Okay, so in case you missed it, and if you did, that is just fine and dandy. So if you scroll down on our website, we've got the ultimate keto deal. $1,900 worth of keto goodies for $67. It was originally $49, but the price went up. It kind of had an early bird thing. So the short version is it's $100 worth of Keto Chow for $67, plus $1,800 worth of ebooks and like 6-month or 3-month or year memberships in different programs that different keto influencers have, like Maria Emmerich or Drew Manning or Danny Vega. So yeah, it actually is only on sale. If I remember correctly, it only goes through 11:59 p.m. Oh yeah, it's got 2 hours left. 11:59 p.m. Eastern time. So you can still buy it. The link's on our website, and they'll send you. It creates an account. You can go to this website, and you can then log in and get your coupon code for the Keto Chow. Did you turn your mic back on?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was surprised you didn't hear me panting up the stairs.
Why is my tongue orange? Oh, because I was drinking Crystal Light stuff, the squeezy.
Is your tongue orange? Gross.
Sure is. Anyway, so that's what InfoStack is.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Alan
sorry.
says,
I left. It was important.
Okay. Bioactive vitamin forms are essential for nutrition. Yes, they are.
Yeah.
And a lot of companies will use crazy stuff like magnesium oxide,
Yep.
which your body can't use. And if it's like they're not even taking it seriously. Anyway.
Sorry.
Alan says, I study nutrition, and this is a very good lineup of high-quality vitamins, especially the methyl group of the folate. Yes, it is.
Yes. Okay. I remember what I was going to say. I'm
What are
sorry.
we going to say?
Since we've worked with the manufacturer, I think the manufacturers typically want to recommend stuff they can source easily, stuff they can source cheaply. It saves them money. It saves you money. It makes a cheaper product. And so our manufacturer is great, but they have come to us and said, hey, if you use this, it would be less expensive. If you use this, it would be easier to get. If you use this. And we're like, sorry, we don't want that.
Well, among other things, Miriam and I personally use Keto Chow. So why would we get stuff that isn't very good?
Yeah, but it does, like, it comes with pressures. Like, it's easy to be tempted to be like, oh, I could save that much money. No, I'm not going to. But it's interesting because as we've worked with the manufacturer and we've learned a lot more about ingredients, like when you're in a company, like you're in that spot, and I could see how it'd be really easy to be like, oh, that's fine, that's good enough. But we've just decided we wouldn't do that. So
speaking of ingredients, one of the questions that we wanted to tackle tonight is about some of the ingredients. Someone wanted to know, does Keto Chow contain chicory root fiber? What about tapioca fiber,
or
soluble corn fiber, or inulin?
And those are super popular keto ingredients now. Like you see it in lots of stuff. We don't have any of that in Keto Chow.
Yeah. Well, you typically see that in bars or things like that where they want to give a particular like texture, you know, kind of that chewy, squishy.
Plus, it's difficult to have something like hold together.
Yeah, and so it's sticky. It's sticky like honey. Well, we don't use that because, well, first off, we're making a shake, but a lot of companies will also use that as the sweetener, particularly inulin.
And then they don't have to put it on the label.
Well, it shows up as a fiber.
Yeah.
Now,
Sweetener.
is it legitimately not going to raise your blood glucose? Well, it kind of depends on you. I personally try to stay away from things that are playing the fiber game. If they're using a fiber as a sweetener, I try to stay away from it because I have an unhealthy relationship with stuff like that.
Yeah, also, I was just going to say, if you had that in moderation and you had one once and you didn't notice a blood glucose spike, you're probably fine.
What is this eating one you talk about?
If it's something that you love and it's really delicious and you're going to have one every day, you would definitely want to look at the ingredients a little more myopically.
Oh, is that who was down there?
Yeah.
Okay. It was our optometrist.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, it wasn't our optometrist?
It was somebody higher than
Okay.
our optometrist.
Okay. Let's see. Anyway, yeah, so there you go. Yeah, we don't use any fibers in Keto Chow like that. We do have acacia gum, which has some really cool features and benefits. Among other things, it turns into short-chain fats when your gut bacteria digest it. So it does actually contribute calories, but they're in the form of a fat, which is really cool. Your gut bacteria turns it into fat.
Cool.
Anyway,
cool.
So there you go.
Cool story, bro.
Cool story, Hansel. Anyway, Penny says, if you like stronger flavor, do you mix Keto Chow with butter or heavy cream?
Definitely butter. It makes the flavor come out stronger. Heavy cream kind of mutes it.
Yeah, it does.
Which it can be really great if you're wanting to have the flavor muted, or if you want it to
Yeah.
be, more like an ice cream flavor or something like that. So I think, and for a long time, I only had certain flavors with heavy cream and certain flavors with butter, but I've been kind of converted completely over to butter now. Everything tastes better with butter, in my opinion.
Well, especially really mild flavors like the strawberry. The strawberry is so mild.
And the banana.
Yeah, you mix it with heavy cream, and it's just
Like,
really
it just
mild.
punches it up a bit. So
Mix it with butter, and
it's
it's
fun.
a lot stronger.
Yeah.
Shauna says, "I never wait." However, I think my hot coffee dissolves the vitamins and stuff, but it's not my only source of vitamins. That brings up an important point. If you heat keto chow above 120 degrees, it will start to degrade the vitamins. So if that's the only thing you're using for nutrition, you wouldn't want to heat it above 120 degrees. What exactly that means for people who heat it up higher than that is, I'm not sure what the state of the vitamins are at that point. Don't use it as your sole source of nutrition.
Yep.
Anyway.
Something to remember.
Alan says, thanks for putting in the good quality vitamin B12. The methyl type is the best. Yes, it is. Jerry says, I love my keto chow chocolate. Hot, hot, hot. Now you're doing that. Going to have that Buster Poindexter song. For me, Hot, Hot, Hot is actually a song by The Cure.
Sing it.
First time I saw a lightning strike, I saw underground, 60 feet below the street, the sky came crashing down. Anyway, I'm not going to...
I don't know that song.
Meg, yes, you do. Meg says, good evening. I got a surprise call from customer service. When Travis's phone accidentally auto-called me, gave me a chuckle. He was so apologetic.
He is so sweet, isn't he?
Getting butt dialed by Travis. Awesome. Kathy says, good evening, everyone.
Hi,
Better
Kathy.
late than
How
never.
are you?
Andrew says, I have a Butterfinger Keto Chow creamy. So good.
Yes, Twitters today.
Shauna, yeah, chocolate toffee hot cereal. That is one of the recipes on our recipe page. So if you just go to our recipe page and you type in cereal, you'll find it.
Nice.
And Suzanne, talking about the cake, she says, nope, I keto-fied an old recipe.
Oh, perfect.
Maya's here. Hubs calls on his lunch every night. He is so more important than we are.
He is. I'm glad you got to talk to him.
I'm sorry about that. Anyway, Gil F. Granny says, my Valentine's order and the InfoStack order both came this week.
Yay.
I just have to figure out a storage system for all these bags.
Oh, how fun. Send us a picture on the Facebook support group, because
Yes,
I like to see the organization.
Sandra says, if I use MCT oil powder, do I need to add butter also?
That's another great question.
That is a fantastic question.
So something about fats that are powdered. Okay, something we learned with mixing and stuff. Any oil or anything you have to dry has to be dried onto something.
Yeah.
And so that's something that we've learned about ingredients. So one of the things that we did at KetoCon, like 2017, a long time ago, was I walked around to all the vendors, and if they had an MCT oil in their product, I asked them what their MCT was dried on. And most of them did not know what their MCT was dried on.
It's oil.
And so a lot of times they don't do it as much as they used to, but it's still the cheapest option is to dry it on maltodextrin or dextrose. And
glucose.
Yes, and that is that is sugar.
Yeah.
It's a starch, that turns into a sugar. So if you want, I don't know if you can tell on your packaging if it says like in there. Yeah, no, well, and that brings up another thing, which I was going to point out. We had this page on our website, Powdered Fats with Keto Chow and Rounding on Nutritional Label. Yeah. And it is important to note that, okay, there is butter powder. There's also MCT powder. Mm-hmm. Whenever you use a powdered a powdered butter, the amount of carbohydrate is going to be higher for the same number of calories than you would get with the liquid. And a lot of that, that's because they are rounding, and so it may say 0 grams of carbs, but it actually has quite a lot. For instance, here you've got regular butter. To get 1,500 calories would be less than, what, a fifth of a gram?
Less than 1 carb.
Yeah. Whereas if you use butter powder, it would be 16, and sweet cream powder would be 25.
And that's because the 0.4, whatever, adds up. 0.4, 0.4,
Yeah.
0.4
adds up
equals
pretty quickly.
something else.
So
So that's something we've learned too.
Yeah, and now if the convenience of using a powdered fat outweighs the issues, then by all means go for it. Now you don't need to use MCT powder, and in fact, in my own personal tests, unless I am studying for a test or need my brain on fire with really high ketones, I don't ever use MCT oil, and I certainly don't use exogenous ketones because I don't need to treat a neurological condition, so I don't see a reason for that. Now, a good point is that you do need at least 10 grams of fat in Keto Chow in order to properly absorb the vitamins. So no matter what you do,
you want to have some fat.
Yeah, in your digestive system at the same time as Keto Chow. That means that you could have a little bit of coconut oil on in a spoon, or some butter, or some, whatever. As long as it's in your digestive system at the same time, you'll be able to absorb the vitamins. And so you need that. You don't need any other fat with it.
Yep. So the answer to your question is, can you use powdered MCT oil with Keto Chow? Yes, you can.
Yep.
But we want you to make sure you know what you're doing by researching different things. Another thing that we wanted to say, our daughter, who has depression and has been fighting that for quite a number of years, uses MCT oil on occasion and exogenous ketones to help her function better. And so everybody has a different story. Everybody has a different reason. Just because Chris doesn't use MCT doesn't mean that you can't use MCT.
Because, my primary goal is to lose fat. And MCT and exogenous ketones do not aid in the loss of fat.
Yep.
So.
But yet MCT and exogenous ketones do help with mental clarity.
Yes, they do.
So sometimes you have to weigh what's most important for you at the time. Also, we want people to be able to buy what they can afford, right? And if you already have the MCT powder and you don't have any problems with it, definitely use it, because you've already paid for it. But you also have sunk cost bias, which if you feel like just because you bought it, you have to use it, you don't have to if you don't want to, and you feel like it's not going to be good for you. If it's bad for you, get rid of it.
So what is sunk cost bias?
You say.
Okay, so the short version is we value stuff that we already have more than we should. And so the way to counteract sunk cost bias is think to yourself,
would I buy this again?
If I didn't own it, would I buy it now?
Especially, how much would I buy this for also? Like if we're talking about or thinking about clothes, you're looking at this shirt and you've already paid for it, so you're like, you want to keep it. Well, would I buy that now, and how much am I willing to pay for that now? Well, I hate that shirt. Well, why do you have it? Get rid of it. Just because you sunk money into it once doesn't mean you have to sink your life into it now.
Yeah. Such fun.
I know, sorry, we kind of went off on a tangent for that one.
That was a good clip, by the way, John. You should edit that whole thing into a separate video. In case you guys didn't see it, our video guy posted today a pop-up video version of Miriam and I talking about fat on keto.
And that looked really dumb.
You just agreed with a lot of stuff.
But my hair looked nice.
Yep. Let's see, Marie says, moving more, bought a QB last month when Costco had them on sale.
What's a QB?
I don't know. Alan says, I tasted the chocolate when I was making it with hot water, and it was the most amazing tasting hot chocolate. It's definitely going to be one of my favorite morning drinks, and I will make it hot with coffee.
Chocolate, it's so good.
GGB says, I was burping. I had an iced Butterfinger coffee this morning. I hope the microphone didn't pick that up. Digger Girl says, hi from Minnesota.
Hi.
Ever thought about a cotton candy flavor?
We were totally talking about that today.
Somebody asked, was that you that asked that earlier today?
No, I was talking about
it. Ben asked, and I said,
no way.
It was Kirsten. Kirsten asked, and I said,
Sugar.
toasted sugar. She's like, no, it's different. I'm like, it's toasted
It is
sugar.
different because it's
Anyway.
flavored toasted sugar.
J-Doc says I use Keto Chow blender bottle and put in a half cup of heavy whipping cream, a scoop of Keto Chow, and 12 ounces of Keurig coffee, and shake, like Keto Chow,
shake.
and then put it in my cup. Add another 12 ounces of coffee, and that's my meal.
What a perfect
Nice.
way.
He says, hey, yo, Chris, did you get my Facebook message yesterday evening? Yes, I did. Thank you for the reminder. Keith is doing a giveaway on the Hungry Heath YouTube channel
Speaking
of
of
Keto Chow.
giveaways, we're doing a giveaway too on our Instagram right now and
What?
Facebook page.
Well, are we done talking about Heath first?
Yeah, maybe.
You guys should all
Do you
check
wanna
out
keep
Heath.
Talking?
It's going to be on Friday, I think.
Yay.
Okay, now what about ours?
It is Smart Cakes. And it's going to be great.
Let's see.
I think it goes to the end of the week. There it is. Giveaway.
Ta-da.
Da-da-da.
So what do you need to do? You like this post, tag a friend. Each comment and tag is one entry, okay?
Yeah.
Make sure you're following Smart Banking Company and our account, Keto Chow.
Not banking company.
Baking
company.
Okay, so there
Smart
you go.
Cakes.
So yeah, that's on the Instagram. Is it on the Facebook as well?
I assume so.
Shauna says, Drew Manning, isn't he a football player? He probably played football.
He's a fitness guy. He lives
He
here.
did the fit to fat to fit thing
Yes, and he actually spoke at our first Keto Salt Lake conference
in 2019.
here in 2019. And you can watch that on our YouTube channel
Yes,
if
you
you
can,
want
for
to.
free.
It was great.
Kathy says, hello everyone, a wee bit late, but here. Don't worry, I'm behind on comments. Maya says, how
cares?
far
It's
behind in
fine.
the comments is Chris? Should I scroll?
No,
See,
don't
now
scroll.
you know how far behind I am. Blaine says, sadly, I'm going to miss the info stack.
Oh,
That's
that is
okay.
sad.
Let's see. Janet says, are some of the flavors better with butter versus heavy cream?
That's what I used to think, but it just took me a while to kind of cross over to all the way butter, because I finally was like, I think it was the same conversation we were having earlier, that we were afraid of fat.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so I think I was afraid of drinking butter. Like I just couldn't wrap my brain around it.
Well, now here's the thing.
Forever.
When you mix the warm water and the melted butter with the acacia gum that's in the Keto Chow, it mixes it all up, and you don't have clumps of butter, unless you do it wrong.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't have clumps of butter. And if you do have clumps of butter, just pour it into a mug and microwave it. All the butter melts, and it's fine.
And then it's delicious.
But yeah, I think all of the flavors work exceptionally well with butter. I typically make it with butter if I have the time,
Yep.
and make it with heavy cream if I don't.
Yep.
But anyway, because I only like to do it with butter if I'm going to be using a blender.
But like we were saying earlier, it's a personal preference.
Okay. Shauna said, I had fun taking my mom shopping today, reading her labels of items that said keto on it and showing her the difference.
Oh, that's great.
Teaching her about it. That's really awesome.
Yeah, I think that's a scary thing at first. You're like, I don't even care about nutrition labels. Now it's like my favorite thing.
Oh, yeah. Maitreya says, I do best with no chicory root, but a little once in a great while seems okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, Janice says, that answered my questions too. He says, hello everyone who has tagged me. For some reason, it keeps giving me an error when I try to tag anyone.
Oh, no.
That's weird.
Maybe go in or go out and then come back in.
Have you tried turning it off and back on again?
Are you sure it's plugged in?
Did you catch that ludicrous display last night? The thing about Arsenal is they just started walking in.
West Ham.
Becca says, I gave my info stack to Carrie. That was so nice of
Oh,
you.
that's so nice.
Jerry says, see, Miriam knows what I'm walking about.
That's right.
Let's see. People talking back and forth. Okay, there. I posted it. Oh, it's for some reason it didn't go on Facebook
that
when I
is
posted
weird.
that link
Oopsie.
to the
The
powdered
fats
thing.
article.
Maitreya says, that's me. Benefits from MCT. I don't like powdered.
Yeah, but you can see the benefits of using MCT. So I think that's great.
There you go.
So great.
Janice says, is powdered butter and powdered probably heavy cream used the same way? You can,
It can
use
be.
it. And for someone like, say you're going hiking, that'd be a good application for powdered butter or powdered
Yeah,
heavy cream.
yeah.
Because then you're just adding water and it
Yep.
would work
It'd
really
be
well.
fast.
But be aware, it will take up more space in your pack than just bringing butter. Now, what I did last time, I went camping and I was like doing a lot of keto chow. I just brought a bottle of avocado oil.
Which also would take up space in your pack.
It did, but a single bottle of avocado oil was like food for a week,
yeah.
along with a bag of keto chow.
Really great.
So, and then I just had a blender bottle and a scrub brush and a little tiny thing of soap.
Yeah, and when we did that 32-mile hike where we camped every day, we just had the little soap and the bottle brush, and we just wash out our blender bottles.
And we would mix it up and drink it almost right away, which, okay, that's not ideal.
Yeah, but it was fine.
But you're drinking it before it starts to go bad. Once you mix up keto chow, regardless of the fat that you use, you have to treat it like milk.
because it's a milk protein.
It is a milk protein, and the bacteria will love that. If you've ever left a protein shake in a blender bottle in a car,
open it.
just burn it in a fire.
It's like a sippy cup under the sofa.
Which has milk in it, just the same way. Anyway, Dennis's Insulin IQ did a video on fat today. I would highly recommend that.
That's
Source
awesome.
of wisdom. That is fantastic.
Thank you.
Sandra says, the reason for adding MCT oil is because my husband might be in the early stages of dementia. There you go. So I wanted to see if this will benefit him.
I
Thanks for the
definitely
early
would try it.
explanation.
Yep.
Now, to your point, MCT comes from coconut oil. And rather than using MCT oil, what you can do is use melted coconut oil with
If he
warm
likes
water.
coconut.
Yeah, if
'Cause
he
it
likes
tastes
coconut. Now, if you use refined coconut oil, it won't have that strong coconut flavor. If they do like coconut oil, the coconut flavor, you could use coconut manna, which is like a nut butter made out of ground up coconut, pureed coconut. So
I don't think it's as fat though as coconut oil.
no,
is.
it's not. It has a lot more fiber in it.
Yeah.
The manna does.
And one thing, Sandra, go ahead and look up Amy Berger because
Yes.
she's done quite a few talks on Alzheimer's and like how the brain works and what happens there, because it's related to dementia. That's kind of the first steps, right?
Yep.
But anyway, she is amazing. She has the book called Alzheimer's Antidote. She's so wonderful.
She's
so
fantastic.
look her up. She's got a lot of good talks, and
Yep.
she does talk about using coconut oil for that specific thing.
Yeah, and we didn't used to know that you could mix up like butter with keto chow or coconut oil. And when I figured that out, I'm like, hey, Amy, do you think it would be a good idea to give someone who is suffering from Alzheimer's or dementia a shake of keto chow made with coconut oil? And she's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. It really helps their brains.
Shauna says, oh my goodness, I suffer from sunk cost bias. Never knew
Yes.
there was a name.
Now you know.
And so where we learned about that was the book Essentialism.
Also, my friend, The Minimal Mom.
Does she talk about sunk cost bias? She actually uses that term?
Yeah.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah.
Lori, speaking of mixing up keto chow, can keto chow be mixed with cocoa butter?
Oh, yeah. We've done that before.
tried that
And it had to be really hot to be able to drink. But
Yeah.
we also live in a cold climate. And so I wonder if you were somewhere warmer,
Well,
if it wouldn't be as hard.
I think that the fats, it was just too hard. It separated out. Even though normally keto chow,
Yeah.
when you do butter or you do coconut oil, you don't end up with separation. That one's separated.
But you know what it would be
was-
good for? Making keto chow into fat bombs.
Yes, it would.
That would be amazing.
Be fantastic. Or here's another thing. So we talked earlier about how you need at least 10 grams of fat in order to absorb the vitamins.
Yeah.
We had someone who was having issues with digestion in keto chow. This was before we changed some of the ingredients, changed around the magnesium. We now know that you can also add a little bit of like a teaspoon of, what's it called? Gelatin.
Yes.
And that will help with digestion. But this particular person found that if they used no fat in their keto chow at all, they just mixed it with water, and then they took all the fat that they were going to mix in and made fat bombs.
Yeah. And then they just ate it and drank their keto chow and they were happy.
Had it separate.
It worked really well.
Because it just needs to be in your digestive system at the same time.
I thought you were going to say that cool word, duodenum.
I was going to, but
It's a cool word.
and I never know if it's duodenum or duodenum.
Oh, you're right. We could be saying it wrong.
We could be.
Becca, do you know how you say that?
I don't know. Marie says it's an under-desk elliptical. That's what that
I
means.
want that.
Well, it says the pop-up video about fat was so great. John was amazing. My favorite part of that whole thing was when I said, like put it away, put it away, put it away now. And he knew exactly what the reference I was making.
I wish he would have put a little musical note.
No, he put the Red Hot Chili Peppers logo.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Mrs. Miriam, I've been watching a lot of the decluttering organizers on YouTube lately and have learned a lot about my relationship with stuff.
Right.
As it relates to my history, much like food.
Yes. Yes, and you know, it's interesting too, talking about clothes, we keep clothes around because we want to fit in them someday. And yet every time we see them, they're secretly taunting us because we're not good enough. Why do we want to keep something around that's telling me I'm not good enough?
I don't know.
Get rid of that.
Denise says the pop-up
Sunk cost
video was
bias.
funny and had good info. I love the no bueno.
No bueno.
Brenna says I started keto for treating my ADD and brain fog, so I use MCT when I need to work.
Yes, perfect. So perfect.
Perfect. Janice says my granddaughter, she's 13 years old, has anxiety and clearly issues, so is the MCT powder better than the oil? I would say no.
Oil, I think, is always going to be better than the powder.
Yes.
It won't taste as good.
Well, no. So
some of the MCT oils are flavored.
That's true. Well, and
So-
some of the powders are flavored.
That's what I meant. The
Okay.
wrong way. I said oil, but I meant powder. Some of
Yeah.
the MCT powders are flavored.
Yeah, like they have strawberry
And
flavor
so
and stuff like
that would be more palatable. But MCT oil by itself is a
doesn't
purer
have it, yeah.
form, and it's gonna work better. But you'd have to try and see if she could tolerate it too. We put for Kate, we put MCT in her keto chow. We also do like a Zip Fizz with a ketone supplement and MCT oil in that, and she just downs the whole thing. So
Yep. So as far as better, the MCT oil, the pure oil, will be the most effective. How
yes.
about that?
But you do need to be
And
careful
it'll
with
be the
it
least
because it
expensive.
also could go through you. So you don't want to give her like 3 tablespoons or she'll just have diarrhea real fast and then she'll be unhappy.
The most you can have in any given meal is a tablespoon, and you have to work up to that.
Yeah.
Okay, Keto Chow is John. He's logged in as Keto Chow. Anyway, Marie says I like vanilla better with heavy whipping cream than with butter. Christina says, we have so many Christians who work for us. Anyway, I just went on the website to try and buy the info stack, and for whatever reason, I can't seem to get it to go to the next step. I put in all my information, my credit card. I keep hitting the continue button, nothing happens. So I'm not sure what would be happening there. Are you doing it on a web browser, like a desktop browser or a mobile? Try it on a desktop if you have access to that. A lot of times when you're having problems, mobile kind of might be the problem, or you have like a pop-up blocker or an ad blocker that could be causing issues as well. You could also try using an alternate browser. Like if you're on a desktop, try Edge.
Yes.
Or Safari, where if you normally use Chrome, something like that, or use Firefox. That works too.
Yep. Keep trying and let us know if you can't, because we can reach out to InfoStack and tell them that they're having problems. Is there a way to reach out to them from their website? Is there like a customer service button?
We've had a lot of people report that they aren't very responsive.
Oh, that's
the
a
problem.
bummer.
Lots of
Sorry,
people saying
guys.
butter is better.
Yeah, butter's good.
Jessica says, I absolutely cannot stand black licorice, but I tried the shake anyway, and my mind is blown. It's amazing. I still can't get over liking it. Just kudos for making it.
Right?
Joe had the
That's
same reaction.
so funny.
And so did Steve
It's like,
from Serious Keto.
what? I hate this. Okay, I like this.
Incidentally, I don't know if I told you this. Steve with Serious Keto saw the Instagram post,
Okay.
and he's like, I see that you're one of your daughters was wearing an Oculus, a Quest 2. He's like,
Want to be my friend?
yeah, and, well, we've been talking about it all day.
Dang.
He was giving me a lot of pointers and stuff, and he's like, I see you got the extended battery pack. That was going to be my first suggestion.
That's
He's
so
like,
cute.
you want to know some games that are fun? I'm like, yes, I do.
I want to beat him on Beat Saber. That's what I want to do.
Exposing Darkness says, yeah, Team Butter. Let's see. Maya says Dr. Boz has amazing info on the brain.
I love
as
Dr.
well.
Boz. She was going to speak at Keto Salt Lake, but I didn't get a hold of her fast enough. So next time,
That's
maybe.
too bad. Maya says, I love Dawn, the Minimal Mom.
I do too.
Miriam was watching Dawn, the Minimal Mom over there while she was doing her makeup in preparation for this live stream.
I love her. I'm going to meet her someday. She's doing dairy-free and gluten-free right now, too. Does that sound familiar?
Sean says, I've been watching Dana K. White, who does some things with Minimal Mom, and Cass from Clutterdog.
Yes, I follow Dana K. White, too.
Okay.
She has a new book out.
Fascinating info for dementia. Thank you. Sylvia's here. Aaron says, save your chicken for lunch day. My method. In a 32-ounce mug.
Nice.
Melt butter. Use a fork to mix keto chow into butter. Add 2/3 of a cup of hot water. Mix. Add more water. Stirring till the cup is full. Salt to taste.
Yay.
Yes, please do add salt.
That's a good idea.
I actually would like there to be more salt in it, but it's so much easier for people to add it than it is impossible for people to take it out. So.
Yep. And in a pinch, if you want to add some stuff, throw a thing of canned chicken in there, because those are really easy. Easy peasy.
Easy peasy. Brendan says, I use coconut milk that I melt in the microwave as my fat source.
Oh, that sounds good.
Let's see. Maya says, duodenum.
Or denim.
So I usually say duodenum.
That's what I say too.
But I've had someone say duodenum. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Anyway, Blaine
we
says,
say
I still
things wrong,
recommend
though,
using
sometimes.
the well-filtered bacon fat from your jalapeno poppers in your chocolate keto chow. Nope.
We did
I
one
did
time.
that.
Yeah.
Max was the only one who would drink it. I was like, no, this is
Max
too
would
strong.
eat anything though.
You know what? We have a...
Except for eggs.
Okay, so I smoked
They
a
make him
pork
sick.
belly.
Okay.
And then I cut it up. It's sitting in a glass container. All of the stuff that rendered out of it, that's essentially bacon fat. Have you thought of that? It's bacon fat infused with smoke flavor from smoking the...
Oh, right. Well, I made some eggs. Was it Sunday?
It was Sunday.
I just took a bunch of it and I
Fantastic.
put it onto the thing and just let it sit and sizzle. And then I threw
Yeah, it was
eggs
so good.
and Brussels sprouts and a couple onions in there. I mean, a couple.
Jujubee's
pieces of
here,
onions.
says I'm keeping clothes one size
Oh.
down in a tote with a lid elsewhere in my house to not taunt
Yes,
me.
it doesn't
Basic
have to taunt
pieces,
you.
but can't afford to buy all new, so they are not in my
Yes.
closet mocking me. Such a win.
That is a great idea.
Yeah, Dennis says, too bad. Yep, Dr. Boz isn't going to be...
Sorry.
Yeah, it's too bad. GB says, Minimal Mom taught me to separate them out. Huge win.
Yes.
Oh, okay, so Christine says, phone, I'll try the computer. Aaron says, I got a work from home job, so I don't have to buy new clothes. On camera, no one can see how big my pants are.
Oh,
We were talking about
that's
today.
awesome.
There's a thing called a dickie, and the dickie is a
Oh,
covering that's
It's
just
like
on the front.
It's like a backward suit coat, right?
And so there's someone had, I don't know if it was a joke, but there was kicking around the internet, the meeting dickie. And it was like a tie with a button-up shirt and collar. And then there was even like one that had a suit,
A suit jacket front.
And it was just the front.
That's so funny. That's so funny.
Anyway, Carolyn says MCT oil and keto chow gave me indigestion and heartburn. I went back to butter. There you go. Sherry says we need Susie Dent. Countdown. Brenda says powdered is easier on the stomach, I think. I have personally experienced that if I'm having issues with, say, MCT oil, a powdered MCT oil, for whatever reason, is easier on my stomach. But
Yeah.
I don't use MCT oil
So
anymore.
why do you think that is? Is it because
I'm
it
not
has
sure.
to break down and become liquid again, and so it takes a lot longer for your body to do that?
Or the additional fiber is feeding my gut bacteria?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I just... Yeah.
So maybe don't have it on an empty stomach. That would be good too.
Let's see. Tanya says, hi, gang. Good to be with you tonight. Welcome. Jujuy says, I need Oculus, friends.
I'll be your friend.
The saddest thing about Oculus is it
sad?
was called... Okay, Oculus was a company. They were purchased by Facebook. And just recently, and Oculus has really good name recognition.
Yeah.
It's the Oculus. It's not the Quest 2. People just call it an Oculus. Yeah. Well, Meta, Facebook changed their name to Meta, and now they're calling it the Meta Quest 2. They
That's
have
the wrong
dropped
name.
the Oculus name. They even changed their Twitter account. And I told Steve today, I'm like, I see that you called it the Meta Quest. I'm sorry, but it's always going to be the Oculus. Lynette says on Beat Saber, give Fitbeat a try on expert level.
Oh, I
Best
haven't
workout
gotten
ever.
that good yet. We only have had it for a couple of weeks.
Miriam has been spending
I have been doing just a
the
little bit.
evenings hiding in the closet,
Like
playing
3
Beat Saber.
songs. Because my legs hurt at the end of the night. I can't stand up for that long anyway. So I'll do like 3 to 5 songs, or
Yep.
one day I did more than that. But it's really fun. I'm just doing some on hard now. Finally getting a little better.
Sean says Dana D. White speaks to my brain. I couldn't do Marie Kondo. Everything I touch sparks joy.
I know.
Due to sunk cost bias.
Right? But now you recognize that, and so you can pick up something and be like, do I have to have this?
Yep. This is a good question. Michael says, greeting all, is Keto Chow safe for breaking a 36-hour fast?
Yeah. Yeah, we do it all the time.
I've done that. I think I broke a 100-hour fast with it. It was fine. Megan Ramos, when we had her on a live stream once, we talked about different things that are great for breaking a fast. One of her favorite things is chicken wings.
Oh, I love chicken wings too.
We have some in the freezer
Lynette
downstairs.
offered me
fridge.
some chicken wings right after I finished my lunch and was full. But that was nice of her anyway.
Anyway, Jerry says, I haven't done this yet, but I like really spicy chocolate, so I might want to go smoke some jalapenos and blend them with some chocolate as a creamy hot ice cream. Sounds like an interesting experiment.
Try it.
Blaine says, ooh, send me some of that smoky fat, Chris. No, I am keeping it myself. Aaron says, suit Dickie. That's brilliant.
Right?
Patty says, Smith says, anyone want to go through the InfoStat courses together? That might not be a bad idea.
That would be fun.
I'm not sure how you'd coordinate that.
I want to
but,
do that. I'll buy it.
You haven't bought it.
I have a couple more hours.
GB says, Sean, I felt that way too. After a year of decluttering junk, I finally realized joy when choosing things to come in now. Hashtag intentional.
Yep.
Let's see. Aaron says, does anyone know how long liquid MCT oil lasts before it goes rancid?
I haven't had it go rancid yet.
So
we've had some for a long time.
Okay, so really short. I'm going to keep this as short as I can.
Okay.
Saturated fat, monounsaturated fat, polyunsaturated fat. What it's referring to, okay, fats, you have a carbon in the chain with hydrogen hooked onto it, okay? And then you've got 3 of these that are joined with a glycerol. It's called a triglyceride. Okay, so we've got the basic structure, like long chain of carbons, hydrogens. If the chain of carbons is completely saturated, completely full of hydrogen, it is called a saturated fat.
Which would be butter, coconut oil.
Coconut oil, yeah. Now, all naturally occurring fats have a mixture of
lard,
of saturated, polyunsaturated, and monounsaturated.
yeah,
But,
so they're not completely saturated, right?
saturated fats tend to harden at room temperature. Now, that's not always the case, but anyway, MCT oil doesn't do that.
Typically, yeah.
Anyway, so that's a saturated fat. Monounsaturated, there's one spot in the chain where instead of having 2 hydrogens come off it, you're missing 2 of the hydrogens, and you've got a double bond with with one carbon, well, 2 carbons.
So the carbon and carbon are next to each other?
Yeah. So in one spot, you've got 2 carbons hooked to each other.
So carbon, hydrogen all over here, and then carbon, carbon.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it tends to kink it. It makes it go a little bit crooked. With a polyunsaturated, you have...
Wait, what was that?
That was monounsaturated.
Mono.
So there's
Mono
one
has
spot.
one broken spot.
Yeah. With polyunsaturated, there's multiple ones.
Okay,
and usually,
so it's like...
Yeah, and usually it's in like groups of 3. You've got omega-3, you've got omega-6, you've got omega-9. Those are polyunsaturated.
Okay.
Every place that there's a double bond, that's a weak point. And it's an opportunity for that to break.
And become oxidized.
And oxygen gets in there, and that smells like rancid oil. We identify that as bad. Okay, so saturated, very stable, doesn't oxidize. Bacon fat, because it's primarily a saturated fat. Butter, primarily a saturated fat. That's why your grandma had a container of bacon grease under the sink with a cover over it, and she would just get it out. Did they refrigerate it? No, it didn't need to be
We
refrigerated.
don't refrigerate ours.
Our bacon fat? Absolutely not. So, and MCT oil is the same way. It is, depending on how it's made, it's a pure saturated fat. It should not oxidize. There's probably going to be a best by date on it, but you can, for all intents and purposes, ignore that.
Well, and the nice thing is, if it smells bad, you know, it's oxidized,
Yeah,
right?
but I have
We
used
have
MCT
a lot
oil
of
that's
old
like
MCT oil.
it's like 7 years old, and I'm just like, yeah, that's still fine.
It's good.
Anyway, yeah.
But, you know, that's us. We're choosing to do that.
GGB says, I just bought mine, and it said Oculus Quest 2 when I ordered it. Yeah, that's because they just changed the name like 2 weeks ago, and it hasn't gotten out everywhere.
Find us and be friends with us. We can play Beat Saber together.
Maya says, nice thing about Minimal Mom is she teaches you to make these choices and decisions fast.
Yes, I love her so much.
Esther says, I've not ever tried MCT oil, and I'm not planning on it either. Butter is my friend. Bacon grease is just yum. Okay,
Yeah.
remember how I said that when you have a naturally occurring fat, you have a mixture of all of them? Butter is really cool stuff because it has a lot of saturated fat. It actually has a lot of short chain and medium chain fats as well. Like MCT oil, the way they make it, in case you want to know, you take coconut oil and you take out all of the longer chains. You have C8, so it's 8 carbons. You have C10, 10 carbons, C12. You take out the C12 and you leave the C8 and sometimes the C10, and that makes MCT oil. And then it's liquid at room temperature and the whole deal like that.
And you're saying C8 is 8 carbons together, or 12 carbons together.
Butter,
Sorry, I'm just a little slow to the
butter has a lot of butyrate, which is a very short chain fat. Hence the name butyrate comes from butter. But it also has some medium chain fats and some longer ones. It's just got a really good composition of fats.
Yeah, butter's so good.
It's fantastic.
So happy.
Anyway, but yeah, butter, come on. It's just awesome. Jerry says, speaking of Dickies, if you remember Kent from the movie Real Genius, he had a yellow Dickie.
Yeah.
I do remember that movie. Shauna says, the word minimalist makes me anxious, though.
I know, it does.
Blaine says, I used my Keto Chow to help break my 6-day fast a few weeks ago. Maya says I should turn on the science class with Mr. Bear.
Nerd.
Except it always covers your face.
I
We should get it
know.
to flip.
It's because you're the nerd. You're the nerd. I'm just the person.
Hey,
behind the bear.
John, remind Ben to re-render that with the Mr. Bear on my side, okay?
Or we could do something different.
Maybe. Let's see. Alan says, Chris, don't scare us again with organic chemistry. No, like I said, I was doing a really simple way.
I think it's a great
The
thing
crazy
to learn
thing,
about.
I never took chemistry.
I just want it drawn out, so I want to put some little graphics over here that has like little 8 C's and a little H, because it's easier to understand if I can see it in a picture.
Blaine says, wow, Miriam is nerding out too. Let's see. People laughing.
Oh, Maya was wondering about Dana. It's Dana K. White. What's her channel?
I don't know.
The Slob Comes Clean?
Aaron says, came for the friendly keto faces, stayed for the science.
Yeah.
There you go. Shauna says, butter is science magic. Pamela says, I churned my own butter for years. Love doing it.
Yeah, Dana K. White from A Slob Comes Clean. That's her channel.
A slob comes clean. Okay. Dennis says,
She has curly hair.
I'm in for an InfoStat group effort. I signed up last week. Thank you, Chris and Miriam. I'm left wondering who wants to be on point. Who will be on task best? Boy, I don't know.
We'd have to figure out which program we want to do first.
Esther says, butter is just awesome.
So awesome.
Tim says, I'm bringing my drum set in from the garage for exercise.
That's a good exercise.
And John says, you got it. Re-render the bear. Tanya says, Chris, you could have been a high school chemistry teacher. No, I couldn't have, actually.
He probably
Because
could have.
you have to have a degree
That's
in
right.
order to
Chris
do
has
that.
no degrees.
I went to a semester of community college.
Yeah. I went to a year.
It. And I
college.
actually went to a semester of the graphic design program at the community college. Went to live in South America for a while, came back and immediately started working at my dad's company.
And then met me, what, a year later?
Yeah, and then it was like, Am I ever going to
Everything
go back?
was roses.
Yep. Jerry says, so is Meta now Ready Player One and you're in the Oasis? They haven't quite got the haptic gloves yet. By the way, that book was fantastic.
I liked it. They did swear a lot, but I liked it.
Did you listen to the book, Ready Player One?
I did.
Really?
Yeah.
With the Gunters and the whole thing?
Totally.
Are you sure?
I did not listen to the second one.
Okay. You listened to Ready Player One?
Yeah, it had a lot of swearing in it. Do you remember that part?
Well, yeah, I remember that part.
I do too.
I didn't think that you listened to that. That's interesting.
I listened to it. Do you think I'm bad now?
No.
I thought it was a good book.
Now, this same guy who wrote that, he wrote another book called Armada, where alien spaceships from a computer game.
I think I remember you
start
telling
showing
me
up.
about it.
That was good.
Those are boy books.
Turns out the entire science fiction movie industry and all of the computer game industry has actually been an elaborate setup by, this is the plot of the book.
Okay.
Elaborate setup by the government to train people on how to fight off an alien invasion.
Oh, right.
It's actually a really good book. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Let's see. Aaron says, I've been following Dana for ages. Jerry says, I'm a slob. I'm not there yet. Yeah, I did go through 20 bags of clothes and donated to Goodwill.
Good job.
I'm trying to Marie Kondo, but I have a long way to go. I'm a hoarder.
It's hard. It's really hard.
Tony says, Chris is a freak of nature. You're just super smart.
Yeah,
no,
he's smart.
I just have a photogenic memory.
Speaking of Tanya, so I meant to message you, but Chris is laughing at himself.
I had someone ask me once, do you have a photogenic memory? And I was like...
Photogenic? Okay, explain what photogenic means, dear.
That means...
You take pictures of things?
It takes pictures well.
Does your memory
Pictures
take
of
pictures
it
well?
are taken well. It poses for pictures well, and it's very photogenic.
Stop being so semantic.
I do not have an eidetic memory, if that's what you're asking.
I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam. I am. Okay, Tanya, I was going to tell you, I had a dream the night before the Super Bowl that your son was playing in the Super Bowl. So even though I knew it wasn't real, I kept, as we were watching, every time I'm all, is that him? Oh, is that him? Is that him? Like, what's wrong with me? I should just message her. Is your son playing in the Super Bowl by chance?
Let's see. Ready Player 2 is out. I didn't like it as good as the first one. But I did like Project Hail Mary. That was fantastic. Maya says, I'm uber excited for Miriam to read Clan of the Cave Bear. I hope I don't miss that live.
Oh, yeah. I still have to write that down.
Tracy
I
said
wrote
I
it down
posted on the
last time, but
Facebook
I
group
forgot.
about people talking about the InfoStacks, things everyone was trying. Oh, okay.
Oh, good.
John says that sounds like Ender's Game. It's similar kind of thing.
I loved
but
Ender's
different.
Game. We read the whole series together. I think we still have a little bit to go.
We have one book. I've actually listened to it. It was pretty good.
Good. The new one?
Yeah.
The newest one?
Blaine says Armada is awesome too. Well, we need to finish Dune.
Yeah, we've
We're
been
in the
reading
appendix
that
of Dune right
as a family.
Yep.
Well, I can tell you this. I like those books. They're really great, but I think Harry Potter's better because Harry Potter is amazing.
Alan says, Lord have mercy. Okay, so there were a couple other things we wanted. Okay, if you're making keto chow into ice cream, either to put into an ice cream maker or you're putting it in the containers for the creamy,
Okay.
do you need to chill it first before you put it in there?
That's a good question. I don't think you would need to because you could just put it in the freezer.
I never have. I usually mix it up with butter so it's hot.
Yeah.
I pour it into those things, right into the freezer.
Well, and I'm wondering if they're asking that because they wonder if it might separate, if it doesn't kind of do its little combining
It doesn't,
thing.
yeah.
So we have
fine.
not seen any problems with that. If you make it in the ice cream maker, you can just pour it right in. If you put it in a freezer bowl, you can just pour it right in. And then if you put it in a Ninja CREAMi, you should be able to pour it right in and it'll freeze. One thing about the Ninja CREAMi we've noticed is sometimes it'll like pop up in the center.
Oh, when you
when
get
it's
it out of the
frozen.
freezer?
But that works as long as it's in the center. If it's on the side or something,
Well,
you don't want to run your creamy because it won't work correctly. So
Yeah,
but
I've
if it's
never
in the
had
center,
that
it'll be
pop-up
fine.
thing cause a problem. What they don't
Yeah.
want you to do is freeze it crooked.
Yeah, because it'll ruin the blade. So
Yep.
don't make sure your Ninja CREAMi containers are standing upright in the freezer.
Andrew says,
Good
I'm
job.
listening with my eyes closed and busted out laughing at your photogenic memory, Chris. She was she was like, yeah, she was earnestly asking if I had a
Honey,
photogenic
you know
memory.
what she meant.
I know what she meant. And I played it straight when she asked that. Let's
Get over
see.
here. You're falling over to the side.
Okay. Let's see. Pamela says, I love the whole series of Clan of the Cave Bear. Purple A is working on through Wheel of Time.
Oh, I read that whole series too. I love that series.
Okay, so Jessica has a question. How much of the egg white protein do you add to your shake, and does it change the flavor?
So I've only tried it personally with just a tablespoon, which would be the equivalent of an egg. And then I just shook it up just to see if it would get clumpy.
Yep.
I'm sure what you could do is figure out how much protein you wanted to add and maybe play with the measurement amounts for that. I don't know how much more I would add because I think it may play with the texture a little bit.
My recommendation would be to try it and see if you like it.
But I do know there's a bunch of people that use raw eggs in Keto Chow,
Yep.
and that may change the texture a little bit also.
Yep, especially the yolk.
Yeah.
Anyway, in our Facebook support group, Sonya asked, can anybody tell me, is the 90 meal surprise myCHOW exactly 3 times the 30, or are the big bags different?
That's a good question too. We have kind of based it on like the 30, and then we add on from there. So
Yeah.
like the 30 will have the same stuff that's in the 60, but then it'll have
Or rather,
more stuff.
the 60
will
has the
have-
same as the 30
Yes, yes.
with other different stuff.
Yep, and then the 90 will have different. So all the big bags should be different, and there should be more single flavors in there than just what was occurring in the 30 or the 20.
Yep. So the short answer is they're not it's not 3 times the 30. They are different.
They are different.
Katie wants to know, so we have our starter kits. We have the essentials, the premium, and the elite. We wanted to know if there's a way to order those and choose which flavors you're getting in it.
So that's a good question too. The starter bundles, well, the starter kits, sorry, are pre-built. We have employees, we call them monkeys.
We
in
do
the
call them
warehouse.
monkeys.
We call them helper monkeys. And they pre-build all of those with the right amount of stuff and then just stick them on a pallet, and then the shippers can just grab them and ship them. So the reason why they're able to be discounted is because they're pre-built. So you cannot change the flavors in those kits.
Yeah, and here they actually are. So the essentials, that's the contents of those, and then you've got the premium and the elite, and they're pre-built. Now, what you can do if you want to select it, you can just add the stuff that you want, or if I can get this to,
I don't know.
oh my gosh,
If you can.
come here to subscriptions.
Are you sharing?
Yeah,
Oh, good.
and you've got the myCHOW. You can do the choose your own flavors. Pick the size that you want.
Pick whatever you want in the choose your own flavor one.
Throw together your own bundle if you want.
Yeah, it's great.
Okay.
We love myCHOW.
And here's another good question. How much sunflower lecithin is in the powdered egg whites?
Oh, I don't remember.
So the nutrition information that we have about the powdered egg whites lists out, it's actually the stuff that we base the nutrition label off, lists the amount of fat that's in it, among everything else, based on 100 grams. And based on the information that's in there, it doesn't actually say like what ratio or what percentage of the egg whites is sunflower lecithin, but from the as best as I can tell, it's smaller or less than 0.1%.
Yes.
So it's less than 0.1% is the best answer I can give you as far as that.
Is that per serving?
Well, per whatever. So if you had 100 grams of it,
It's per 100 grams.
yeah, so 100 grams of it or 50 grams of it, it would still be less than 0.1%. So
Yeah. But
you would have no more than 1/10 of a gram of sunflower lecithin per 100 grams would be another
Yes.
way to say it.
There we go. So not very much.
Not very much at all.
But as we learned earlier, points do add up over time.
They do. And rounding, it means that it's 0.
Yep.
Anyway, Mike says, I do not like the flavor change with a full scoop of protein, but my hub says he didn't mind it. Just got to try it.
Nice.
Cynthia says, I made chocolate keto chow with 2 tablespoons of butter powder to compare to the one I made with the amount of melted butter I calculated on your site. It was even better, I thought.
Nice.
Okay. Dennis doesn't like the noise the Ninja CREAMi makes.
Yeah,
Every
is kinda
time,
horrible.
Every time Miriam's having like lunch or something like that, I'll go down there and I'll turn on the Ninja CREAMi, and it's like, I hope you guys didn't want to actually talk.
It's so funny because we're all sitting there just chit-chatting, and we've just finally finished our food. And we're sitting there for the last like 10 minutes of lunch, and he comes down, permiso!
Because one thing I learned in South America was if you say permiso,
You can do anything you want.
anything you want. You want to take off your shoes and walk around in somebody's house? Permiso!
Permiso!
You want to steal the food right out of their hand? Permiso! Anyway, it's not quite that much. Jerry says, what was the name of the Oculus game you were talking about? I might get the question now. Well, it's called Beat
Saber.
Saber. It's kind of the killer application for virtual reality.
Yeah, and when I went down there, Audrey was playing it sitting on a chair. So you can totally play it sitting on a chair if you want to. And I'm going to get some weights. I have some ankle weights that you can tighten around. So I'm going to put them on my wrists so I can get a better workout. Because you don't really move your legs. You just stand there.
And if you want some fun, Otterworldly.
Oh, she's cute. She's a cute girl.
She pretty much, well, she plays other stuff as well. But she plays a lot of Beat Saber stuff. She played it with her feet.
I totally want to do that.
It was hilarious. But yeah, you've got 2 lightsabers and you're cutting blocks.
Mm-hmm.
And
you don't have to do it that fast as that girl is.
She's showing off how cool she is.
You do it. You can do it the slowest, the
Alan
easy,
says,
and it's
"The
still
yolk's on
fun on
me."
the easy.
GGB says, so I'm sure it's fine at this point, but the CREAMi says do not use fruit with water as it will damage the machine. Is using water in the shake truly okay? So I think what they're talking about is don't make one that's just fruit and water. The amount of the milk protein and everything else that's in Keto Chow, you're not going to have a problem with that. So, sure, this is all.
Or maybe we will in 6 months. I don't know.
Well,
We've been using ours for
Maitreya
a while.
successfly
she
destroyed
killed one.
hers.
Yeah.
But she was using it like 3 times a day for like weeks at a time. Anyway, Penny says, yeah, have a great night. It's 10:30 East Tennessee.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it is.
Good night.
We're actually going to be getting off pretty soon. Karen says, good evening, everyone. Let's see. Carolyn says, I love my Ninja CREAMi. Can't wait to try black licorice ice cream. Yes. Now, I thought the red licorice in the CREAMi was fantastic.
I like the black licorice better.
Well, I thought the black licorice was really good until I was like halfway through eating the entire thing by myself. And then it was a little bit too much. I was
just like, give me some more of that.
All right. Let's see, Patty says, I made my CREAMi with Keto Chow water and 2 to 3 tablespoons of cream.
Oh, nice. That sounds great.
All right. Well, we're gonna get off.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us today. We really appreciate you. And remember to appreciate you. Because you hang out with yourself the most, so you should be your own best friend. Remember that.
Okay.
I'm telling you so I can remember.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye.